I love drawing programs, and this is a new one on the iPad called Let's Draw. And we'll work on a mouse with cheese today. A quick double click on the picture of the mouse will open up the program. And it's a tracing program, so you simply trace the lines here. I'm using an Apple Pencil, and if you go slow, you can see there's a little jitter here. There's not a lot of smoothing in this program like there is with Procreate. On the other hand, this gives you a good practice not to pause too much with the pencil so you could get smoother lines. You can see there's a black dot on the right side of the paper, and I'm going to get rid of that using the eraser. When you're satisfied with your work, you'll see a pulsating blue arrow on the lower right. Give that a tap with your pencil. So that brings you to the next drawing stage. This is the two eyes in the mouth. And then the ears. Give the right lower arrow a tap again. And after each stage, this one being the left ear, give a tap to the lower right arrow again. That'll bring you to the next step. This is the upper body and the hands. I really do enjoy tracing. There used to be on McDougal Street in New York City a restaurant that had tables that were chalkboards, and they had colored chalk there, and you could draw before you got your food. It was really cool, and these are the type of characters that you would be able to draw. The great thing about a program like this is once you learn the shapes, you could take this to Procreate, which has a really good smoothing feature, and you could practice your drawings there and memorize them. The final part is the tail here. Make sure that it's sharp and you don't make the tail too fat. It's really your choice where you want to start drawing the tail. I don't start it at the base of the mouse. I like to start at the tip of the tail where the point is. And now for the piece de resistance, we're going to add the piece of cheese. If there is something you want to undo, you could push the gray curving left arrow. That's the undo button. To change the size of the brush, push this little squiggle thing down here. I need a slightly smaller brush here. And what is Swiss cheese without the holes? I'm going to switch to the color brush now. Now for the fun part, coloring everything in. And now a little tidying up. I'll be using the eraser for this process. This is something that wasn't in the original mouse caricature. It's something I learned from other cartooning books. I like to draw an outline inside of the ear and color it pink. Now I'm showing you here, if you draw over the pink, it's not one of the original trace lines, so you're actually going to be drawing over it. So I have to go around it. Stay inside the lines, boys and girls. Here I'm coloring the holes in the Swiss cheese black, and I'm going to do some touch up on the picture. Just missing a little pink in the ear. Now here's the 3 characters I have so far, and I'm going to click on the dog. Now back to my characters and click on the swan, and now the mouse. I'm going to show you all of the characters in this program so far. Hopefully they'll be adding more. The ones you see with a star on it means I've already drawn them. Okay, we're going to do the sheep now. So I'm just going to take my finger and push on the sheep, and it will open the drawing program. So this is a bit of tracing. I'm going to make that smaller. One of the flaws, if you want to think of it as a flaw, is that this program often makes stuff a little too large, and I have to use my thumb and my forefinger to squeeze it and make it a little smaller. Okay, let me get to work because it's prompting me. Okay, no need to trace exactly what you see. Now, in the lower right, you see an arrow. I'm going to push on that. It's a pulsating blue arrow. So that obviously is the face of the sheep. I'm going to push the forward button. By the way, if you don't see the eraser and undo button, just push this little arrow on the bottom left. For this next change, I'll use the eraser instead of the undo button. Of course, you could change the size of the eraser also. Now, you can see I'm leaving a little around the head. I'm not gonna touch that yet because I'm looking for the back button. You could see it. It's gray and it's got a curved arrow going towards the left. And the reason I want to make sure that is there is because if I'm erasing the excess part of the face and I accidentally get the wool on the top, I want to be able to undo that. So now I'll just be very careful. And if you want, you could make the pencil even smaller, but not necessary. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now you can see where I rest my hand against the right side of the screen. There's a dot. I'm going to erase that. I don't see an option to make this work with Apple Pencil exclusively, so you have to keep an eye out for where you're resting your hand. In other words, you could draw with your finger. Oh, we're on eraser. So when you're on pencil, that's on the lower left, you can draw with your finger. So you have to be careful you don't accidentally, where you put your right hand, make a smudge. I'm going to undo that. Cool. Okay. Now you can see the next arrow pulsating on the right. It's blue. Now we'll try this again. I'm going to do the center of the face first to make sure I don't make it too fat. There we go. Sometimes it's safer to do this in 3 moves instead of 1. But as you get better and more fluid, you'll find if you draw real slow, you'll be shaky. See, the line is not quite as smooth as it could be. I'm going to undo that. So, trying to get not speed, but some kind of motion is good. I'm going to undo that again. Try one more time. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, eraser. There we go. All right, next, the eyes and the mouth. Too large, I'm going to make it smaller. Sometimes I forget to go to the pencil. Now the eyes are bigger than what they had, but they're both the same size. That's important. Now, in the center is the pencil size. I'm going to make this 9 instead of 12. Cool. Okay, now the fluffy roundness. Secret to this is being smooth and not going too slow with your pencil. And don't worry about making the lines exactly where the finger just made them. Next, the right arm. I'm going to do that again, but with a smaller pencil size. Let's try 6. And the left arm is folded under the right. Cool. And now a little time lapse. Here I'm checking the color of the sheep wool. And I picked a suitable color. I'm going to click on the check mark on the left. That's the work I've just done. If you click on the X on the right, it means your most recent work won't be included. And now a little cleanup. So here's the sheep all finished, and what good is doing all this work if you can't save it easily to your photos? So follow the instructions and push the square for 2 seconds, and it will neatly save your photo in PDF form to photos on your iPad. There's no confirmation of the save, so just check your photos. If this is your first time doing this, the application How to Draw will ask for permission to add to your photos. And you're all done. Tap and hold a circle for 2 seconds. Push the bottom where it says bravetomatoes.com. And here you can see the programs they have. How to draw animals, that's what I'm using. So looking through these programs, I think the only one that I would say is specifically for adults and children is the first one, How to Draw Animals. And now the long-awaited rating for How to Draw Animals. Five stars. Thanks for watching.